points from ahead of their trip to the Etihad to play Manchester City on Wednesday. They are 5 points clear of City. If they win all their games, Arsenal, between now and the end of the season, including that one at the Etihad, then they will be Premier League champions. However, if Manchester City win all their games, including the visit of Arsenal to the Etihad, then they will be the champions. It is so close as we head into the final few games of this Premier League season. 6 to go for Arsenal, 8 to go for Manchester City, and for Southampton, who had this game in their hand for long periods. They take just a point away for all their efforts because of that late fight back by Arsenal. They stay bottom of the table. They are 3 points from safety, having played at least a game more than the teams above them. Jamie, it does seem strange that after so much drama, so much excitement, particularly at the end and the beginning of that game, that everybody comes away disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, you could just feel that. You know, we were just at the side of the supporters there towards the end of the game, and you're seeing how many players were sort of sat down at the end of the game feeling like, you know, it was a game gone where they should have maybe got maximum points. And as I said, it made it such a great game for the neutral, but for both sides who were involved and teams around them. You know, everyone's watching this game tonight. You know, teams at the bottom hoping Arsenal get, you know, the 3 points, and Manchester City vice versa with Arsenal. So it was a brilliant game, but it feels a little bit flat in the stadium, really. But it's you can understand why.
If Arsenal had come away from this with a draw, having led, as they have done in their previous 2 games, this would feel like 2 points dropped. Because they fought back, does it feel a little more positive than it would have done if it was the other way round? Or is it still, because it's against the team that are bottom of the table, the disappointment of the points dropped? Yeah,
it is. I mean, whether that point makes that much difference, I'm not quite sure. I mean, they've probably got to go to City, I would say, now and get 3 points if they're going to win the league. It is still in their hands, but we keep saying, you mentioned that before, and we come back on, it's still in Arsenal's hands, and you think, it just shows you how far ahead it felt. Well, they were. You know, they've dropped 6 points, basically, in the last 3 games, and it's still in their hands. So they did have a really sizable lead, but listen, they're going to have to do something miraculous now between now and the end of the season. But, you know, we've seen them go on runs before, certainly on the back of losing to Manchester City, which was a big disappointment here. I think they won the next 7 games. So they've got that, I think, to go now towards the end of the season, and they're going to have to do something, you know, really special between now and the end of the season. But the way that game was tonight for Arsenal, it was exactly what they didn't want. There was mistakes, it was emotional, the game was end-to-end. They just wanted to come here, win this game 2-3-0, as most people expect, against Southampton, bottom of the league. And when you're going down 1-0 after 30 seconds, it just become a game, which is exactly what they didn't want.
We ended up watching this pitch side, the last few moments of that game. We missed the 2 goals as we were trying to make our way down to the side of the pitch. Coming down to the side of the pitch at 3-3, did you think Arsenal were going to get the winner?
I did, yeah. I really did. And because we were in with the Arsenal fans, and it just felt like this place would just erupt if the goal went in. I think we were all urging the goal to go in. Really, we were in with the Arsenal fans, so we had to keep them happy as well. But no, just towards the end, we didn't have a great view, but I'm not quite sure. There was a claim for a penalty, but it felt like someone was in, and they just chested it down. I'm not sure who it was. And you thought, is that sort of the moment that wins you the title? Because you always feel when a team are going to win a title, there's moments that you look back on the season. And we all felt maybe a few months ago that when Reece Nelson got that really late goal, okay, there was a long way to go, but you think that could be something that you look back on at the end of the season. It just had that feeling in the stadium with so much added time there that if Arsenal were to get a winner, it would feel really significant, more than just 3 points.
We will look at everything. We'll cover all the incidents that we have time for before we go off air. But how is Southampton feeling right now? Let's find out from James Ward-Prowse with Jeff.
A great game to play in, incredible atmosphere. You can definitely feel there's a positive feeling here, and I think that fueled us, especially in the first half. You know, we took our chances really well, kept them at bay, and yeah, we knew they'd come on to us in the second half. And yeah, I mean, it's a good point to come here and get that, but I think we're disappointed not to take all 3, really.
And put it in perspective, beforehand you probably thought a point's a really good result, but leading so deep into the game, do you feel deflated?
Yeah, I think it's a massive blow, but we have to take a lot of positives from that. I was a bit surprised to see 8 minutes come on the clock, I'm not going to lie. I think that was a bit of a strange amount of time to be added on, but we have to defend better there and not concede last minute.
Was your lead reward for bravery, taking the game to them?
Yeah, I think that's us. I think we lost our identity a little bit, and Ruben's definitely got that back on track with the high aggressive pressing, and we felt we were very strong in the first half and took our chances well. And I think we tired towards the end. You're playing up against a world-class side, and they ultimately showed that.
When you were in the lead at half-time, what were your thoughts when the coach changed the formation as well?
Yeah, I think people will see that as a negative, but I think it was more of a positive. I think to keep them at bay, but also to be a little bit more solid at the back. It wasn't a case of dropping off and being deep. It was still being aggressive, still being front-footed, and it worked up until the last sort of 10 minutes really.
It's difficult straight after the game, as you say. You're deflated, disappointed because where you were in the game. Mm-hmm. But could this turn out to be not only a massive point, but also psychologically to come here, get a point from the league leaders, be huge for you in this run-in?
It will be, yeah. But I think we need to follow it up with good performances and results. We always get some good positive results against the so-called big teams, but then we don't follow up in the coming games. So that's a real big challenge for us now.
Still believe you can get out?
Yeah, of course. There's still a lot of points to play for, a lot of football there, and stranger things have happened. We've got to keep believing and keep pushing like we did tonight.
Thanks, James.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, you can understand why Southampton, why James Ward-Prowse would be disappointed after that game, because they had it in their hands right up until the last 5-10 minutes or so. But is this point something that could prove important come the end of the season for them?
Well, it could be, but I think the bigger thing to take from it, rather than the points, is actually, the manager of the team who were top of the table with 3-1 up in the 88th minute. And I think they've got to take that belief into all the games that they play, because they're not going to play a more difficult game now. I think till that's it, and unless I'm not sure they've got to go to Manchester City. I don't think they have to, but they're not going to play a more difficult game than this one. So that's got to be part of the manager sort of giving this team confidence and belief that they can still basically get out of the position. Because when they lost last week at home to Crystal Palace, I mean they were receiving the last rites. I mean it was done. Everyone just thought they'd come here, they get rolled over, and there's no way back for them, especially if a couple of teams maybe pick up points tomorrow. But I think the point and the fact that they've come here tonight, there'll be a little glimmer of hope, but there'll be huge disappointment in that dressing room now.
Yeah, they'll be reflecting on that performance against the league leaders. Let's see what Arsenal made of it. Gabriel Jesus is with Jeff.
Late on, you've got a point out of it, but because of the bigger picture, is the overall feeling one of being deflated, being unhappy?
Well, I think like you guys can see, a lot of things is going on now, obviously we don't want to come here and talk negative, because we are very positive. The season we are doing is amazing. Obviously it's a Premier League, it's not easy, it's tough. You compete against tough teams like Southampton. They come, try to, defend good and then counter-attack and kill us. Unlucky we concede early goal. That's kill our plan. But I think a part of this, we play really good. We respond really good with the crowd. Everyone come with us, I think we are doing, now is the difficult moment, We are putting ourselves in some difficult momentos in the game, but it's now time to stick together till the end. We still have a lot of things to do in the season, and then it's nothing over. It's still 5 points clear, and obviously they have 2 games in the hand. And then if we want to be champions, we have to go there and win the game. That's all.
What is the cause of these difficult moments that you are giving to yourself? The mistakes in the first half. Is it the pressure of the situation you're in?
I don't think it's depression or something like that, like people wants to talk. Obviously, we are, I think, the youngest team in the league. Not putting excuses, but that is a big thing to think about. Obviously, we have no experience of champions. And then, obviously, sometimes if we want to try, if we want to play good like we was playing from the start of the season, we have to try. And sometimes we do right, sometimes we do wrong. We make a mistake. Everyone here can make a mistakes. That's why it's so important to stick together. And then now it's time to recovery. And rest our minds, our body, and then keep fighting.
How difficult is it going to be for you now? That's 3 points from a possible 9, the last 3 games. To go to the Etihad, realistically, you've got to win. It's in your hands. If you win, and you win your remaining games, you'll be champions. But how do you get back to what you were early in the season? Young, brave, playing, flowing football. How do you get back to that before next Wednesday?
Like I said, we are having a great season. It's not nothing over. It's like I said, it's a lot of things can happen from now on till end of the season, last game. Everything can happen. Obviously, we are not happy with the last 3 games. We dropped points. That's the truth. We know this, no one have to tell us, because we are men here, and we understand we drop a little bit our level, or I don't know, our focus in the game, and then like I said, this is Premier League. It's so difficult to win this competition. You can see the last 10 years, big clubs didn't win, so it's so difficult.
You are united, though. You're definitely a group of close players as well. You're one of the more experienced players, one of the few. Only you, Alexander Zinchenko, have won the title in this country. What can you say to help your young colleagues in terms of that trip next week, that game at the Etihad? You know better than anybody how good they are and how good they are right now.
They are good, not just now, but in the past years, the last years they are doing so good. Like I said, I understand everyone talking about me and Zinchenko because we won the league and that and this, but I think everyone here playing in road scenarios, roozy stadiums and so good stadium pressure, everyone's played that, and everyone's have experience to go there and play. Like I said, they are doing so well. They keep doing so well. If you look, of course, what they did in the last years is amazing. So we are here fighting with a big team and so quality team. So we have to be proud of ourselves. And like I say, I'm not here to talking about like, oh, it's over. No, other side, because we still there, we still fighting, we will fight until the end.
Thank you.
Well, what I can say is that we came here with the intention to win the game and then to put a big performance and to show that we are still a team that is alive. I think we did it. I think from the very beginning we showed that we want to play high, we want to press high. We get the first goal very early in the game. We continue going. Sometimes it's very difficult to play against teams like Arsenal or Manchester City because they have so much quality and different variations to break your first pressure. But I think we were there. We show character. We show different variations of what we can do, and we are proud of the work and the ethics and as we did as a unit together, and that's the way that we need to follow from now until the end of the season.
So will you want your players to take away the credit for the performance as much as for the result today?
Absolutely, absolutely. The result is, in the end, is a consequence. We don't long ago we saw Bournemouth being 2-0 up here in this stadium and losing the game 2-3. And we were in the game until the very last moment, and we just take our chances. And yeah, of course it can happen, but the performance, the way that they play together, the way that they defend each other, I will take a lot of things from the game today.
Ruben, what was the idea at half-time in terms of changing the system, going from the back four first half to the back five second half?
Yeah, well, we have Romain Perraud and Kyle Walker-Peters with yellow card, and then we have also Carlos Alcaraz with yellow card. Carlos has the train to fall down sometimes, so it was in any pressure moment, he can get the second yellow. And then the idea to go to the 5, it was to support the 1-against-1 in the side with one extra defender there. Because anyway, we were not getting enough pressure on the ball, on the first pressure, so we decided to go with one more player in that last line.
You know the result tonight, I'm sure you're disappointed and the lads are disappointed. Can you use the fact that this will be your most difficult game between sort of now and the end of the season? The fact that you've pushed Arsenal so far, you were 3-1 up at one stage, is that what you can take from the game?
Yeah, I think when you come here and we always prepare the games to win the matches. I know we have not winning that match lately and for some reason or the other, but we came here with a clear idea and a clear philosophy to play. Against teams like Manchester or Arsenal, you cannot play that much in the possession because it's very difficult. They press you really high, but you can put in a statement there in terms of performance. And then for us, always we analyze the performance, and the result is as a consequence of that performance. Sometimes it's for you, but it's not going to change our analysis if the ball touches the crossbar or go inside or outside. We need to be more objective than that, and that we can take from today A lot of things, of course, from the game plan, tactically, how we change it, but also the spirit that they show as a team. I think it was incredible to see how they defend each other, and it's something that we really need for the last game.
Ruben, there was an incident in the first half where Bednarek, your centre-back, obviously it looked like he had a nasty sort of, if you like, shock and he was on the floor. Your medical team did really well, but then he was talking to you on the way off. What was he saying to you? Obviously, he looked really upset and frustrated.
Well, Jan always want to play and I want to be on the pitch, and there was a head situation there, and then they are still analysing that, and tomorrow we'll have we'll be more concrete with that. But of course, Jan is a competitor and he wants to play in the game, and then he was coming to me and he was saying, yeah, I want to play, I want to be there, but we need to take all the things in consideration, and when the doctors speak, we need to listen.
Did you see him coaching in the second half when he pulled your centre-backs over just before you scored the third goal?
Yeah, because listen, I have some characters there that they are great characters. We had a very difficult season, but they are great boys. They are working together and they are coaching together, and we have the same feeling today like we had against Manchester United in Old Trafford, that we have against Chelsea in Stamford Bridge. Players being on the bench, ready to step in, players coaching each other, helping me also. So that's the level that we have, and that's how we need to continue.
Ruben, how's the dressing room now? Was it 2 points dropped or a point gained from that?
Well, for them was two points drop. That's absolutely well there. But the statement from me is that we show something, and then we need to believe on that something that we showed today. For me, it's also 2 points drop, but because it's couple of situations, but you know it's really hard here. So they feel a little bit down after the game. From the huddle in the circle that I made with them until the last speech in the dressing room, I just told them that they did a fantastic job, everybody from the players in the starting lineup, on the bench, technical staff supporting, and then we need to continue building from that.
Ruben, most people have written you off. We were talking like that before the game because of the difference between where you are and the teams who are above the relegation zone. You've got Bournemouth on Thursday night. Do you just feel like you are one win away from getting right back into the pack?
Absolutely, that has been the feeling from the very beginning. We have been feeling that it's there, and sometimes for one reason, sometimes for the other. We didn't get what we put in the game. The last 3 games, I think we did really good in the first half, and we were there. We had our chances. Manchester City, Fulham a little bit less, but we also good first half. And then the game of the last week against Crystal Palace, with the Crystal Palace has 0 shots on target. We didn't score our situation. And it was so easy to concede a goal, and then we never came back. So absolutely, I think we needed that to show what we can do. And then we need this kind of performance and togetherness to move forward, and then go for Bournemouth, and then again go and try to win the game as we do every single weekend.
Ruben, does it work for you when you've had the performance that you've seen tonight, that you've been the elements of it that you've been so pleased with, that you have a game in midweek? Is this one of those times when you quite like the games coming quickly?
Yeah, I think we missed a game after the Tottenham game because we were really in a good dynamic, and then we went to the national break, and then we have Mohamed Salisu and Shea Adams out of the squad with injuries in the international break. We lose that momentum, and I think now being so quick, we need to use the momentum.
Ruben, thank you very much for joining us. Good to talk to you. Thanks very much, and good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you
very much.
Thank you. Thanks. Do you want me to take your microphone? There we are. Thanks. It's awkward for everybody, us included. That is certainly the case. So Ruben Sayers feeling positive about the rest of the season. They have the game coming up against Bournemouth, which feels as though it's coming around quickly, but actually from Friday to Thursday, it's nearly a week before them. But there's a chance for them to build on this performance, which is what you were saying, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, we've all written them off, and I don't think that there's anything wrong in that in terms of the position that they find themselves in, but it does feel like they're only one win. And I was looking at, when it was 3-1, I was actually looking what the table was looking like, as we were preparing to come down, and then it would put them right in the midst. And what I would say, I thought that was a brilliant interview, and what I really like